Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, good morning. Good morning. We're just waiting for everyone to take their places. Yes. Once again, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, good morning. My name is Melissa Fleming. I am the Undersecretary General for Global Communications. It is my honor to welcome you to today's observance of the International Day of Peace, declared by the United Nations General Assembly in 1981 and observed around the world every year on the 21st of September. It is an especially symbolic day as it represents the core aspirations of our organization, the pursuit of peace and a world free of violence and strife. I would like to begin by thanking the United Nations singers for the wonderful song that set the tone for today's observance. As we gather here today, we have a terrible war raging in Ukraine and too many unresolved conflicts that are killing, displacing, and causing unspeakable suffering. 1/4 of humanity lives in conflict-affected areas, and meanwhile, many more people suffer from poverty, hunger, injustice, and inequalities, which are in turn further threatening peace. The pursuit of peace is inexorably linked to the pursuit of sustainable development, and both require urgent action if we ever want to attain the vision of living in a world of dignity and equality on a healthy planet. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome the Secretary General, as well as His Excellency Mr. Dennis Francis, President of the 78th session of the General Assembly. And I am also pleased to welcome His Excellency Mr. Ishikane Kimihiro, Permanent Representative of Japan, and Mrs. Ishikane Kaoru. We are honored to be joined today by Dr. Sen Genshitsu Urasenke, who is the Grand Master and UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador, Mrs. Takasi Saiko, the daughter of the donor of the Peace Bell, and the designer of the wonderful Japanese garden, Mr. Abe Shinichiro, and the volunteer gardeners who have helped prune the garden for today's event. Thank you for being with us for here today and for your commitment to peace. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. António Guterres. The Secretary General will ring the peace bell after his statement. Mr. Secretary General.
Mr. President of the General Assembly, Excellencies, distinguished guests, messengers of peace, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Peace is the most fundamental job we have, and it is not solely the responsibility of governments or presidents. Peace is a job that belongs to each and every one of us. Eroding human rights, But as we gather today, peace is under assault across communities, countries, and regions. And peace is also under assault within the hearts and minds of people by the dark forces of disinformation and hate speech. Drop by drop, the poison of war is infecting our world, placing millions in the line of fire, eroding human rights and the security and well-being of all people, and reversing hard-won development gains. But we can all do our part to change that and nurture the seeds of hope by rallying together to tackle the common challenges we face. Challenges like poverty, hunger, discrimination, inequality. Challenges like those posed by rapid breakthroughs in technology, including artificial intelligence, which must be managed carefully to ensure that humanity is helped, not harmed. And challenges like climate change, pollution, and epic biodiversity loss. For people and planet alike, we can and we must push for peace. Pushing for peace means focusing on prevention, dialogue, and mediation to head divisions, diffuse conflicts, and ensure every community has a stake in a shared future. Pushing for peace means rallying around the tools that support global trust and solidarity, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the United Nations Charter. Pushing for peace means addressing discrimination and racism. It means rescuing the Sustainable Development Goals and expanding opportunities for women and girls. Pushing for peace means accelerating our battle against climate change, ending our addiction to fossil fuels, and investing in renewable energy. It means amplifying facts and science over lies and hate. And pushing for peace means supporting activists, young and old, in their call for progress. Excellencies, dear friends, now more than ever we need global solidarity, collective action, commitment, and mutual trust. Let us all pledge to be part of this push for peace. Before I ring the peace bell, please join me in a brief moment of silence to reflect on the meaning and necessity of peace and what each one of us can do in our own way to deliver peace to our world. And I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. And now please welcome me in joining the President of the General Assembly, His Excellency, Mr. Dennis Francis.
Mr. Secretary General António Guterres, Excellency Ishikane Kimihiro and your dear spouse, Under-Secretary General Melissa Fleming, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished guests. It is an honor to join you in commemorating International Day of Peace. Let me begin by congratulating His Excellency Kimihiro Ishikane and the Permanent Mission of Japan for maintaining the observance of this esteemed tradition, and in doing so, underlining the significance of this day. This year, we gather under the theme, Actions for Peace, our ambition for the global goals. It is one that is as timely as it is solemn. I have chosen peace as one of the 4 priorities of my presidency of the General Assembly, reflecting its bedrock importance to the 2030 Agenda and the aims of prosperity, progress, and sustainability. With the SDG Summit only days away, alarm bells are sounding off across the world, alerting us that we are off track in meeting nearly every sustainable goal. In some cases, we are moving in reverse. Symbolically, these ringing bells also constitute a call to urgent action, bold action, to save and indeed to deliver the SDGs. We know that sustainable development and sustainable peace are two sides of the same coin. One cannot be realized without the other. It is therefore no surprise that many countries in fragile situations or in post-conflict settings have fallen furthest behind in achieving the SDGs. We know that when poverty persists, when education is denied, when women and girls face abuse, violence, and discrimination, or when climate shocks rip through nations in the blink of an eye, the potential for conflict and instability only rise. In turn, when investments are made in sustainable development, climate action, gender equality and women's empowerment, and evidence-based youth policies, they provide our most powerful tools to prevent and to preempt conflict and to build sustainable peace. Dear friends, the SDGs are often called our shared blueprint for humanity. Now is our moment for action. At next week's SDG Summit, let us take an honest look at where we stand. Let us stop sugarcoating our successes and instead confront our setbacks with bold, ambitious commitments. The summit is our best opportunity to boost SDG implementation at all levels and spark accelerated action for peace. The wish of the Peace Bell founder was simple and clear: no more wars. Sadly, our generation has not met this aspiration. But it is not too late to start turning the tide. Let us use this International Day as our clarion call to action. And as we ring the bell today, let us heed the call of the founder. Let us recommit to the SDGs, and let us recommit to a world
I thank the President of the General Assembly for his inspiring remarks, and both the Secretary General and the President of the General Assembly for their vigorous ringing of the peace bell. It's needed more than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your presence this morning, for this annual tradition that allows us to pause and recommit to the pursuit of peace. Thank you also for those who have joined via the webcast for this event. And let's enjoy another song by the wonderful UN singers behind us. Thank you.